It's been a while since I posted the first time about our May 22nd experience with my brother and I leaving from Lima, Peru to Boston, Massachusetts. It actually didn't happen the way we had planned because my parents had to have a permission that they weren't aware of. So we had to postpone the trip of leaving Lima, Peru on the 22nd to the following day, because the following day they finally got that signed document that allowed the people that were flying with us to bring us. So we didn't fly. I kind of cried a little bit. I did cry in the airport, but the following day we were able to fly. So my aunt and uncle came back to drop us off. And the reason why I'm sharing this experience is because I have been in the States for the past 21 years. And that would have been this past May 23rd, 2003. And I was so excited to just share about how many blessings have come by living here in the States that I really wanted to do it on May 23rd, but I got busy with things and I wasn't able to do part 1 and part 2 back in May. Nevertheless, I wanted to continue to say that I have loved living in the States. I think it has been a great blessing for my entire family. And I really want to thank God for that opportunity that He gave us to live in this beautiful country and meet wonderful, beautiful, amazing, caring, talented people. You know, I've met so many wonderful, gracious people that have loved us, that have been part of our family, and I'm sure that we will continue to meet more in the future. And that's one of the best things that God has given us, right? Fellowship and companionship with each other. So I wanted to share that on May 23rd, and I wanted to recap on what happened that day exactly in 2003. I remember my aunt said that when you start dreaming in English, you will finally know that you have learned the language. And I remember thinking about it just like kind of foreign, like there's no way I'm going to learn the language, you know, at one point, because language has been one of the most difficult things for me in my life. Since I was little, I've struggled with language. I mix up words, and that's going to be one of the topics that I would like to share in the future of my my path of learning how to speak, how to read, how to all these things. But nevertheless, I wanted to say that and share that God can use the most weakest people, and that's like one of the themes of my life. God can use one of the most weakest people to share His goodness, because if you are well put together, I mean, how can you relate, right? Sometimes it's hard to relate with people who just have it all, I don't know, since day one they knew what they wanted to do. I don't know. I can't connect with that experience because I haven't had it myself. I've gone through a lot of struggles of learning how to read and language as a whole and comprehensive reading, and so that's a different portion. But I mainly wanted to focus this on the aspect of the blessing of leaving Peru and coming to the States and seeing the beauty as we're approaching July 4th, right? Well, seeing the beauty and celebrating the beauty of being in a foreign land and being surrounded by a different language. I remember for that first year in 2003, and I'm sorry if I mumble a lot with just different thoughts are running to my mind, what I wanted to share in the experience. But that summer that we arrived to Boston on May 23rd, 2003, I remember this is the first time that I was on an airplane, and as we were landing, I see everything like white, right? You're just so ignorant, right? Like, I thought it was like covered in snow because it's a different country. Everything's different, supposedly, right? But it was the summer. We were entering into the summer. I mean, May 23rd, right? Close to a month away. But I wanted to recall on that experience. And that same summer, we took ESL. My brother and I took ESL for a month. And after that month, we went straight into high school, 9th grade. And I remember having to have translators around me. Otherwise, I couldn't do regular school because I didn't know the language. So my ESL teacher, both of them were amazing, Mrs. Snowdon and Mrs. Abdo. They would help us with our assignments, and I had a tutor that would follow me around, and she would help me with my math and science classes. She would be with me in the class. And so that's the help that I received, so that she would take notes in Spanish and later on explain them to me while I took the notes according to the class, in English. Then, and for gym class, there was this guy whose parents were from Mexico, so he spoke Spanish, but he was born here. And I remember every time the instructor or the PE instructor would ask him to help me in translate, you would just see this his face. I felt like he was uncomfortable in doing it, but he still had to do it. So I had that challenge. And at one point in my education, high school education, I had to let go of my fear of not being understood because my accent was so thick. I still have an accent. It's never going to go away. I've come to understand it and appreciate it, because sometimes people just have no idea where I'm from. And it can be fun. They can guess so many nationalities on me and never guess the right one. But at the same time, I am thankful because God gave me a harsh, or not a harsh, but like a hard experience with Spanish. So I had resiliency, right? That's a word that I use a lot, because I think that's the only way through the struggles that we have. It's the only way for us to be resilient. And if we never struggle with things, you just take things for granted. But if you struggle like I did, you kind of have to. There's just no way. You just have to grow thick skin. And I say in a positive way. Maybe for some people it may have become a little negative, but if you have God and you have resiliency, then it can't go wrong, right? And the verse that I love to quote is all the time with Paul's words is he learned to be content in whatever situation he was. And so I found a lot of joy from learning now, more than before. In high school, I came knowing that I wanted to be a better student, and that will be a portion that I will share later on, my experience with education as a whole. But I love education. I would continue studying if I could. I currently love my job, so I wouldn't want to leave work to go study. But I think thumbs up to education. Do the best you can. Praise God for everything, because He's giving you that beautiful brain to expand on ideas and to share the good news that Jesus is coming soon, and that He loves you very much and He wants the best for you, only the best. And if the best for you is moving to a different country or moving to a different state, take that leap of faith, because you will never regret taking that step. Even though it was hard at the beginning, you'll find that it was truthfully one of the biggest blessings in your life. So just leaving you with that thought. I lived out of Peru. Now I'm here. I've been here for the past 21 years, and I couldn't have had a greater blessing than to be in this beautiful country, North America, the United States of America. So praise God for you, and God bless you. Until next time.